So my outpatient rehab consisted of going in and doing certain exercises, and it was about a frequency of 3 times a week, and I was there for about an hour or so. Now, I was treated like every other individual in the rehab facility, post-stroke or what have you, and I was okay. It was things were going all right, but I was getting a little frustrated because I wasn't progressing as fast as I would like, and I realized that I was 40 years old. I was a highly functional individual, had a successful practice, and um, I can run, I climb, I was a rock climber, biking, and all this kind of stuff. But that was all taken away from the stroke, and I was pretty frustrated. I wanted to get it back, basically. And I had this physical therapist who was young. This was her, I believe, her first job out of physical therapy school. And I said to her, uh, I need to do better than what you guys are giving me. Um, I need to become I need to become independent, to get rid of this walker, this cane, whatever I have, I need to get rid of it because I have to. I wanted to get back into life again. I had a small child. I wanted to be able to play baseball with him again. Not again, but play baseball with him, throw a ball with him. I had a wife. I had a home. I hadn't lost all those things yet, and I still had a practice at the time um, that I was having another uh, chiropractor run for me. And that's another story, what happened there. My life was very interesting after the stroke. It was interesting before, but it was very interesting after. So I had some knowledge of the brain and how it works, but I didn't have knowledge of whether I could fully recover from a stroke or not. Not many people that I knew that I was dealing with even had that knowledge. And particularly, they had no knowledge about how to make my eyes work better again, or how to get me independent from a walker, and how to help my vertigo, the dizziness I had, the significant dizziness I had. So, this physical therapist and I got together and said, look, let's devise some exercises that I can do in the physical therapy department and at home. I was highly motivated, so I did exercises at home all the time. And I picked her brain and says, let's think. Come on, use your head. Let's think of things that would challenge me and actually make me move forward. Now, one of the things that I intuitively knew was that what didn't work, in other words, if I couldn't balance myself, or I couldn't use my hand properly, or I couldn't walk properly, or if I moved too fast, I would fall over, those things actually make me better. So it's like, well, if you can't ride a bike, well, try and ride a bike. If you can't run, well, why don't you walk and start running a little bit? You have to sort of have the um, goal of doing what you can't do. In other words, if I couldn't do the things that I could do before now, I had to try and do them again. Now, it's not necessarily the most easiest thing to do, and it's a bit scary because you're not sure you're going to be able to stand up anymore or whatever, but that's what we did. The exercises we did were quite out of the norm for what was normally done for people with what happened to me, and generally what was done for any stroke person. The thing that I discovered is that you have to do things. You can't just sit around and say, oh, well, my arm doesn't work, well, I guess it doesn't work. Or I can't really walk, well, I guess I won't walk. You kind of have to do the things and get yourself a little uncomfortable to get yourself better. It's almost like in life where, you feel like, well, I don't really want to take the chance, or I really don't want to move forward. I'm sort of stuck with this job, but that's kind of what I have to do, and I really am too afraid to do anything. I'm too afraid to ask that person, or out for a date, or I'm too afraid to tell my wife that I love her. What kind of reaction is it? I'm too afraid to put myself out there. I'm too afraid to say I need help. Um, I was faced with that. I was faced with the fact that, yeah, this is kind of tough stuff, but I've got to do it. Otherwise, I won't get better. So the physical therapist and I said, look, let's do things that are a real challenge for you. Keep it as safe as possible, and let's just do it. And I'll tell you some of those things that I did.